every anime has its board. Sometimes it's a director, sometimes it's a studio, and sometimes it's that one animator. When we talk about flashy explosions that light up the screen or those blink and you miss it impact frames, one name has been popping up again and again in the industry, and his name is Kazunori Ozawa. He's an animator whose fingerprints are all over the anime we love, and he just might be the secret weapon of One Punch Man Season 3. So in today's video, we'll break down who Ozawa is, how he became one of the most respected effects animators in Japan, his legendary work on Konosuba, and why his connection to Shinpei Nagai, the director of the new season of One Punch Man, could mean Season 3 of One Punch Man is about to blow us all away. So without further ado, don't forget to subscribe and like, and let's dive into the secret weapon of One Punch Man Season 3. Kazunori Ozawa studied at the Yoyogi Animation Academy, one of Japan's most famous schools for aspiring animators. After graduation, he joined Studio Pastoral, where he was trained under Omori Hidetoshi and many other teachers as well. But what set Ozawa apart from the start was his obsessions with effects animation. He wasn't just interested in drawing characters, he was fascinated by how explosions look, how sparks burst, and how smoke move. He even researched effects heavily, experimenting and practicing until it became his signature. And a huge influence on Ozawa was Takashi Hashimoto, one of the greatest effects animators in Japan. And yes, the same animator who will also be joining the production of One Punch Man Season 3. So having both of this name joining hands in Season 3 of One Punch Man is just a dream comes true. Back to the topic, in his early years, Ozawa even got scolded by Hashimoto for his work. Their relationship wasn't always smooth and they had their ups and downs. But by 2021, they have reconciled, and Hashimoto even took Ozawa under his wing. Today, Ozawa and fellow animator Satoshi Sakai are often seen as carrying on Hashimoto's torch, especially as Hashimoto has already announced his retirement in 2023 due to health issue. But I mean, he is still joining in the production of One Punch Man Season 3, so that's another thing to talk about. But back to the topic, this has positioned Ozawa as the next generation leader of effects animation. Now let's talk about who actually is Kazunori Ozawa and what's their past work are. So if you've ever seen Konosuba, you know about that explosion. In episode 4, Ozawa was tasked with animating Megumin's explosion magic and he went all out. He created several variations of explosions, each more elaborate than the last. That episode made him famous. And to this day, his Twitter profile picture is literally Megumin, a nod to his most iconic work. And after Konosuba, he basically became typecast as the explosion guy, alongside Satoshi Sakai and also his sensei, Takashi Hashimoto. He would often be brought onto projects just to do effects sequences, but while he admits he grew tired of only doing explosions, it cemented him as one of the best effects animators in the industry. But Ozawa is more than just explosions. He's known for his incredible effects animation such as fire, smoke, debris, and particles, while also is very good in terms of mechanical animation such as robots and machinery, and also action animations with strong impact. And well, if you really need someone to draw a beautiful girl, he is someone that even can draw beautiful girls' character drawings when needed. And what makes him special is that his drawing work both in 2D and with CG integration, which makes him a versatile choice for modern anime productions. He's also skilled at impact frames, those single frames that look chaotic when paused but create insane power when in motion. Because of this range, Ozawa isn't just another animator, he's the entire package. And in August 2019, Ozawa published his first ever animation effects drawing technique book. This was huge because there are very few resources on effects drawing. The book was praised by other animators like Yosuke Kabashima, who called it one of the best learning resources available. And today, many aspiring animators cite Ozawa's book as a key reference. This means Ozawa isn't just animating, he is teaching the next generation how to animate. In the 2020s, Ozawa's reputation exploded. With Hashimoto's retirement, he essentially became the go-to name for effects animation. And by 2023, it's estimated that he had worked on over 20 different anime projects in a single season. That level of demand shows how much studios rely on him. There are also some close colleagues that includes Shu Sugita, Kenji Sawada, and Hiroki Arai. Also a side note, he's also a big fan of classic animation, citing Hirose Yatsura and High School Lethargy as inspiration. And one of his idols is Yoshinari Saito, to the point where some of Ozawa's magic effects in Konosuba are direct homage to Saito's work. While Ozawa became famous for his flashy effects, he's also been recognized for his mechanical precision and character acting ability. That combination makes him an animator that directors love to call on. He's also admired in Sakuga fan communities in the West, with fans eagerly pointing out his cuts whenever they appear. In short, whenever you see a beautiful explosions, dramatic spell effects, or perfectly timed impact frame, it's worth checking the credits, it is going to be Ozawa or not. Now, let's talk about One Punch Man Season 3. The first PV that was titled One Punch Man Season 3 PV1 was entirely pre-animated by a single person, and that is Kazunori Ozawa. That means every frame of effects, every piece of impact in that teaser was Ozawa's work. This is massive because it signals that the production team is placing trust in him as one of the visual cornerstones of Season 3. Even though most of the stuff in the PV itself was just still frames and a pretty limited looking animation, bear it in mind, it's only one animator that has worked on this one single PV. And I can say these are not even his best work because he's not really specialized in terms of animating this type of stuff, so this is not what he is fully capable of doing. The stuff on your screen right now are literally the work that he is capable of doing, the explosions that are insanely explosive, it's just on another level. So, on top of animating the teaser, Ozawa also has a close relationship with Shinpei Nagai, the director of Season 3. In fact, Nagai follows him on Twitter, a small detail but one that hints at a professional relationship. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. There was apparently a Twitter space session where Kazunori Ozawa was talking with some people and someone managed to catch part of it and translate the conversation. Now, full disclaimer, there's no concrete recording proof, so take this with a grain of salt, but here's basically what was said. Ozawa kind of dodged around the subject at first, saying like, well, I couldn't really say it at the time, but I just said sorry and apologized, but then he admitted that a lot of overseas animators are coming in to help out and the motivation on site is super high. He even joked about how confidentially works differently overseas compared to Japan and kind of hinted that he gets asked about One Punch Man Season 3 all the time. And then the line that really caught attention is, officially, I still haven't said I'm involved, you know, but hey, if someone directly asks me, then yeah, I'll do it. But again, recently Ozawa himself tweeted that he is a freelancer and he doesn't belong to any studio. This is super important to understand. Ozawa isn't a permanent staff member of JC staff or tied down to one studio. He is indeed a freelancer, which means he hops into projects where he is needed. So if he's on One Punch Man Season 3, it will be mostly as a guest animator or a recurring freelancer that is not as part of the core in-house stuff. And honestly, that makes sense. Most big names Sakuga animators these days work freelance and production committees bring them in for the big cuts, the highlight sequences, or even the entirety of the episode. So, while he's not technically JC stuff, the fact that he has been animating PVs, being openly connected to the director himself, and even half confirming his involvement means that we are almost guaranteed to see his work in Season 3. And for Sakuga fans, that's a massive W. Because if Ozawa is coming in as a freelancer, then he's probably being called in for the best parts, the big explosions, the moments people will remember Season 3 for. So what's the takeaway here? Kazunori Ozawa isn't officially part of JC stuff and he's not tied down to any single studio. He is a freelancer. That means he can move around, pick his project, and only step in when he's really needed. But at the same time, all the signs are pointing towards his involvement in One Punch Man Season 3. He animated the teaser clip. He's openly connected to director Shinpei Nagai. He literally teased on Twitter Space and half admitted to be working on One Punch Man, and his acknowledged fans constantly asking him about One Punch Man. So while he might not be the core stuff at JC stuff, haha, no pun intended, he's almost definitely one of the big freelance animators being brought in to make this season shine. And honestly, that's the best case scenario, because if Ozawa is handling the highlight cuts, the explosions as well, alongside Takashi Hashimoto, then we're looking at some insane looking explosion that we've ever witnessed in One Punch Man history. That being said, it's not about just the raw animation. We also need Yuuki Hirose, the new director of photography for season 3, to really step up his game in terms of compositing. Especially with animation, if the lighting and compositing don't keep up, a lot of those fine animation details could go to waste. But hey, the good news is, Yuuki Hirose has already worked on the Konosuba movie, which had some obviously gorgeous compositing work, and that gives me hope that his vision will align with the animators and directors here. The only question is whether the production pipeline will actually give him the freedom to let that shine without too many constraints. So yes everyone, One Punch Man season 3 might still have its hurdles. Knowing Ozawa is most likely going to be on board and Hirose is in charge of the photography, there's definitely potential for this to look incredible if everything comes together. So yes everyone, with One Punch Man season 3 just around the corner, I wouldn't be surprised if Kazunori Ozawa becomes one of the animators that defines the look and feel of the entire season as well. The secret weapon is already here. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next One Punch Man video. Goodbye.